Well, hi everybody. Welcome to my little corner of West Berkshire. I hope you're all keeping fit and well during the current lockdown. I thought I would just share some ideas around some of the issues about buying a business from administration. Clearly, one of the impacts of the existing crisis is that a number of businesses will struggle financially and may be heading towards an administration or an insolvency scenario, and this can present opportunities for businesses that are maintaining their strength, maintaining their ability to trade, and potentially therefore acquire a competitor or potentially even diversify their business. It should mean you can pick up the business at a fraction of the price, but there are some inherent dangers with this, which I'll discuss very briefly. The first is that the process will move extremely quickly. Once the administrators are appointed, they will look for someone to buy the business and the assets as soon as possible. So a buyer will need to be focused on structuring a deal that works for them as well as the administrators, and commerciality and pragmatism are going to be the main deal drivers. Information gathering, there's unlikely to be extensive due diligence, if any due diligence at all. So you may need to consider actually a physical inspection of the business and making sure you ask the administrator the right questions around the business, around the stock, around the assets, etc. Do remember the administrators are acting as agents for the company, and they will accept no personal liability in the sale contract. So there'll be no warranties, no indemnities about the assets sold, nothing about their physical state, etc. Encumbrances, do check that any appropriate releases have been obtained from existing funders who may have debentures or charges over the assets being acquired. Employees is a key area of potential issues. 2P may well apply depending on the structure of the transaction. And not only does that mean you take over all the employees on their existing terms, it also means that there are certain informing and consulting obligations that may arise. So do be very aware of 2P. The premises, it's likely the business is going to need to continue to trade from somewhere. It's likely because it's also a short-term process that you won't have time to negotiate full terms with the landlord. So it may be that you will need to enter into some sort of license to occupy with the administrator. So do be aware of issues around premises. Book debts, these normally stay with the administrators, but sometimes they can transfer. If they do, be aware you may not realise the full value. Post-completion recourse, as I've referred to above, it's extremely unlikely you'll be able to bring any claims after the transaction is completed, and there won't be any price adjustment mechanisms such as earn-out, etc. You may get an element of deferred if you're lucky, but you won't be able to bring any claims post-completion. Do bear in mind, supplier and customer contracts are often likely to be terminated on an insolvency event, and even if they're not, they may not be assignable. So do be aware some of the issues around contracts. Intellectual property, if IP is key for the business, make sure it does actually belong to the company, and prepare your forecasting carefully, in particular how working capital will be required. So that's just a brief summary of some of the issues you need to bear in mind when buying a business out of administration. Do please have a look at our website, ibblaw.co.uk, and feel free to call us if you have any questions or issues you would like to discuss. Many thanks. Stay safe and well.